Sales on Demand Show, episode 12. Hey guys, this is Adam Schneider. Welcome back to the Sales on Demand Show. I'm going to teach you how to create, sustain, and scale up your print on demand business with the latest tips, guides, and information to help you start selling and making money today. Find us on the web at salesondemandshow.com. All right, so this is episode 12, and it's part 6. I had this figured out before how many parts are in this Getting Started guide, and I believe it is 6. So if I'm wrong, please don't send me angry letters. So today we are going to talk about one of the best kept secrets for Amazon and Etsy. And I'm not just saying this because I wanted a clickbait title. I'm actually seeing huge results from personalized products. And anybody who's doing really well on Etsy and to a lesser degree Amazon is using personalized products extensively. Not exclusively, but extensively. So let's start with a listener question that was a comment on the show's homepage. So one of the listeners asked about integration with Etsy and Amazon and eBay using GearBubble. He said that it costs $97 a month, which is true. If you just buy the integration from gearbubble.com, it costs $97 a month to connect your GearBubble platform to all of the marketplaces. However, there's a beautiful shortcut around this. Just buy one of the courses offered by Rachel Rofe or Don Wilson. Right now, the only course that's being offered is the low-hanging system, which Rachel Rofe created, and it was the thing that got me into print on demand. I am an affiliate for this program. If you click the link in the show notes, it will take you to the sales page for that product, and if you buy it, I get a little bit of money. But I'm not selling it because I think I want to make some money. It is an amazing program. So here's a few things you get with that program. You get a year's worth of the integrations for free. That in itself is well over $1,000 worth of value. And since the course, I don't know what it costs right now. I think it's less than $1,000. I'm sure of that. But you also get access to the low-hanging system Facebook page, which is probably the second most valuable thing that you're getting in a low-hanging system course, because all of the people who are doing really well are constantly giving tips and advice and the latest information, and it is just one of the best Facebook pages that I've ever been on. And I'm part of a lot of Facebook pages. So in addition to all of those things, you also get the course, as a sort of side bonus, which teaches you how to create print-on-demand designs and, scale up a business from one sale to potentially thousands of sales, like I'm making. So click on the link there and you'll see the low-hanging system course, and that includes a year's worth of the integrations with Amazon and Etsy. That's what I do. I've never paid for those integrations. I keep buying courses from Rachel Rofe and Don Wilson, so I keep getting it for free. So that's kind of my workaround on that. I do pay for some other integrations. I pay for an integration with Print Tech, and that is specifically for my personalized products, which I'm going to talk about after I share one hilarious thing with you guys. So on Facebook, every time I see a print-on-demand product being advertised, I click on the page and I like it, and I do my very best to tell Facebook that I like these kinds of ads because I want to spy on what everyone else is doing, right? So that's a shortcut, guys. If you're on Facebook, that's a great tip. Do that, and you will get tons of ideas basically on your feed as you're scrolling through. So this one here, this one's actually pretty hilarious and a little scary. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but I'm going to read this t-shirt for you. So this is a variation on a common theme that I've seen, but this one is a little bit weird, and you'll see why in a second. So it says, "Yes, I'm a spoiled wife, but not yours. I am the property of a freaking awesome husband. He was born August. He's a bit crazy and scares me sometimes. Don't flirt with me. If you can read this, you are already too close. Okay, so that's very creepy. And most of the comments on that ad had something to do with the fact that not only is there a spelling mistake, he was born August, but it's also like crazy. Uh, the comment I left was something like, blink twice if you're being held against your will, which is a very snarky thing to say, but I can't help myself. So, yeah, when you're coming up with a phrase to leave, to put on a t shirt or a mug or whatever, do think about what you're writing there and make sure that you're not being a weird, creepy person. And make sure you check for spelling mistakes, especially if you got a long phrase like this. Pro tip, guys, don't be creepy. All right, so let's get into personalized products. So, all of the top sellers on Etsy who are selling print on demand products are using personalization as one of their top selling features. And people freaking love personalized products. In fact, I'd say personalization, if you're struggling for ideas and you're struggling for some way to get started, make your first sale, personalization is probably the fastest way to get to your first sale that I can think of. It certainly is on Etsy. It's overtaking sort of the generic phrases that aren't personalized. It's overtaking those by a large margin. And I can envision a day when pretty much everything you'll find on Etsy will have some personalization feature on it. So, personalization has a lot of pros, also has a few cons. And I'm going to talk about some of the workarounds that I use for the drawbacks to personalization. Now, one of the pros to personalization is that it sells really well, particularly on Etsy and also on Amazon. On Amazon, you have to be approved, and it's called Amazon Custom. So it's not called personalization on Amazon, it's called Amazon Custom. And I can't go through a whole thing on how to do that. Just Google being approved for Amazon Custom. It should be in the top results. That's all I did. Nobody taught me how to do it. I just said, oh, how do you get approved for Amazon Custom? And I looked it up, and there it was. It's a bit of a process. Amazon does require that you be approved for that. Etsy does not. They don't care. You can get personalization on anything. One of the things about Etsy is that Etsy customers almost expect that everything for sale is personalizable. And I have had a few people order a product and they say, what did they say? Like, oh, can you make it say on here, blah, 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 from Ken, love so and so, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but this isn't even a personalized product. So in the end, I actually ended up doing the personalization for the customer, which meant that I had to cancel one of the orders and then redo it. But you know what? I was fine with that. I don't mind going above and beyond for customers on Etsy, and it has paid off with some extra sales here and there. Although, if it gets out of hand, that can become a problem. And that is one of the cons of personalization, particularly on Etsy, because people will order a product and they will ask for a personalization that is complex, or they're like, can you add a picture to the back? And it's time consuming. And especially during the Christmas season, that extra time can really add up. If you're getting 7, 10, 12 personalized orders in a day, you're going to sit down, you're going to spend an hour and a half filling the orders. And there isn't really any good way to automate that unless you're willing to spend some money, which I am willing to spend money. I'm a firm believer in spending money to save myself time. Now, I completely understand when people say, I need to save money, I can't afford to spend any extra money right now. You know, you're just starting out your business. I was in the same boat. I was broke, so I had to save money, and I did all of the personalization just manually, and it works just fine. It's easy to do, and you know what? Honestly, um, doing personalization, I'm still earning like $100 an hour doing personalized products if they're selling. That is. Um, so basically, what I did, I use GearBubble.com to fulfill all of my products, with very few exceptions. I have a few products that are going through Print Tech right now, and those are personalized products, and it's an automated system where the customer enters in the personalization that they want on Amazon, and it just gets sent right to Print Tech. They make the product with the personalization, but again, I got to emphasize, I'm paying a fair bit of money for that. So here's how you can do that for free. Um, Custom Happy. Custom Happy is the mug supplier that GearBubble uses to send all of their mugs, travel mugs, shot glasses, and I think leggings out. And Custom Happy is owned by Rachel Rofe, who has created the low-hanging system. Now, this is a bit of a complex relationship, so try and follow me here. Custom Happy is Rachel's company. GearBubble is the site that you upload your designs to, but when it sells, Custom Happy makes the mug and sends it to the customer. So when I get a personalized request or a personalized order from somebody on Etsy, I just go and I create that design on a program, and I order the product straight through Custom Happy. They have an order page for single mugs right on their the front page. Go to customhappy.com. You'll see it. Just click on mugs and click on 11-ounce mugs, and you can just order it. You upload the design. I always do double-sided up designs, and then you put the customer's address in, and it just gets sent. And it's pretty fast, to be honest. Usually, for the Christmas season that just passed here, I think they were fulfilling orders in 7 or 8 days at the very slowest. So most of the time it was out the door faster than that, but 7 or 8 days during the Christmas season is still pretty good. And I was very, very happy with the quality and the speed that they were doing. Also, the customer service that they provide is beyond any other print-on-demand company that I've used. And I've used a few. One of the worst customer service companies was Print Tech. They were just really slow, and I had no idea why. So I think they're okay, but if I had a choice, I would still use GearBubble. If GearBubble ever comes out with an automated way to send out personalized designs, then I am on board with that. For the time being, I'm using Print Tech because I just don't want to bother with creating the designs by hand. However, it will save you money to do that, and it's fast. So, what kind of personalized designs are you going to sell? And I think for most people that this is where they're going to get stuck. It's not creating the designs that's the problem. It's thinking, what can I personalize? And the answer is anything. Okay, so if you go on Amazon and Etsy right now and type in personalized coffee mug or something like that, the top selling items are literally just blank mugs that you can put anything you want on it. And I believe that you have to pick between various fonts or colors, but they are the top selling personalized products on Amazon, and I believe on Etsy as well. Like some of the top selling ones is just put your own design here. And I have no idea how they manage that, but they seem to sell quite well. Now, what I do for personalization is I use a very specific design template, and then I put in little blocks where people can put their own name in there or the name of someone that they're going to give the item to, and then I personalize that section only. So the rest of the product is set in stone. There's no you can't change the wording of the phrase or whatever like that, because that just takes too much time. When someone says, "Oh, can you have it say this instead of that?" I mean, that's a time killer for me. I don't have the time to spend, 20, 25 minutes on one order. I want these things to be done fast because I have a full-time job, a family, and now a podcast. So I don't have the time nor the inclination to sit there and fiddle around with these things. So that's what I do. But do not think that that is the only way to do it. In fact, the best way to test what's going to work is just to try whatever comes to mind. So if you see something online and you're like, oh, I could put someone's name in there and make it a personalized product, we'll do that. Try it out and see if it works. Now, unfortunately, it being the beginning of March right now, it's not an amazing time to test things because it's really dead right now. I'm getting, probably 6 to 10 sales a day, and that's pretty good, but those are all on Amazon. I'm not getting too many sales on Etsy right now because it's dead, but we have Mother's Day coming up in May, and it is only the beginning of March right now. So if you're listening to this podcast basically the week that I release it, you have tons of time to start prepping some personalized products on Amazon and Etsy. You've got lots of time. Now, the one thing about personalized products is that you can't send them into fulfillment by Amazon, unfortunately, because obviously each one is going to be an individual product that's different from the other ones. So that is one of the drawbacks. It has to be print on demand. This is one of the things that slows it down a bit. And with one of the suppliers that I use, PrintTech, they took the full 10 days to actually make the orders that I had sent them for Valentine's Day. And that just seemed a bit excessive. So if you're going to use Gear Bubble or Custom Happy, you could probably expect the turnaround time to be 4 or 5 days at the max. Mother's Day, they will start getting a lot more orders, so it might slow them down a little bit more. But I've never seen Custom Happy take any more than 10 days to send out a coffee mug that I've ordered from them. So that is how I would move forward if I were just doing this in your position, you as a listener. I wouldn't start paying for any integrations right away. Just do it manually. You get a much better idea of how these things work when you do it manually. And you can test a lot more ideas just doing it manually. And if something doesn't work, then who cares? You didn't spend any money on it. Sitting down and creating an idea, creating a design is free. And you never know what's going to sell. You just never know. So sitting down and taking time is free. Paying for integrations is not. Spend your time sitting down and coming up with new ideas. That is the only way to move forward in this business. The reason I love print on demand, guys, is because there's an unlimited number of ideas out there. And no matter what happens with the marketplace, maybe one idea kind of fades out and stops selling. Now, if you're selling on Amazon and you're selling a product like fidget spinners, well, you probably have 10,000 fidget spinners sitting at Amazon, and if it stops selling, well, you're going to lose a whole pile of money. But it's very hard to lose money selling print on demand unless you're buying and selling or sending a bunch of products to Amazon for fulfillment by Amazon. So here is an interesting update, guys. I'm actually creating a course. I've been saying this for a while, but now it is starting to take shape. I'm going to be creating a course on how to use Amazon FBA to just kill it. So I have mentioned this before in previous episodes. If you're just joining now, I will share with you one of the things that is really moving the needle for me on Amazon, and that is FBA. So Amazon is a fulfillment program. They have warehouses all over the country. We all know this. We all order from Amazon. It comes in 2 days. It's amazing. It's the most advanced shipping thing that the world has ever seen. Nobody has ever done this before in the history of planet Earth. Been able to order something online, have it delivered in 2 days. It's just phenomenal. And you can be a participant in that if you print some stuff ahead of time and send it to Amazon. That's basically what you're doing. Is you're taking something that you're selling as a print-on-demand product and you're just pre-printing a bunch of them and sending it to Amazon and saying, hey, when this sells, you ship it and you do all the customer service. So I'm going to be creating a course on how to scale this up and use this to make thousands and thousands of dollars, as I've done this last Christmas season, and I am doing every month. Basically, most of my print-on-demand sales are FBA, but they are things that I tested first with print-on-demand. Because I guess technically, fulfillment by Amazon, which is what FBA stands for, I guess that wouldn't be technically print-on-demand because it's already pre-printed. But I'm calling it print-on-demand because this is my podcast, and I can do what I want. So, that's it for this episode, guys. If you have any questions about personalization, please send me an email, adam@evercardia.com. It's on the homepage, too. You can leave a comment. I check those comments all the time. So, hopefully you guys are getting a lot of value out of this. If there's anything that you would like me to speak on coming up here, please let me know. If you're doing any kind of success, I am looking for guests to interview here. People love to hear other people's success stories. It's very inspiring when someone says, yeah, I had my first sale like 10 months ago and now I'm selling 3 or 4 a day. It's very inspiring. So don't think to yourself, oh, my story is too lame to be on a podcast. It's not. If you're doing any kind of success, would love to hear from you. I'd love to interview you and see what it is that you went through achieving that success. So I'm going to the mountains, guys. Pray that I have good driving weather. It's almost spring, so keep hanging in there. Keep taking action. Don't let the cold weather and the crappy time of year and the fact that it's kind of slow right now for selling online, don't let that discourage you, because good times are coming, and they come every single year. So if you're not prepared for it, you're going to miss it. And then people like me are going to be like, oh, man, I made tons of money this Mother's Day. And you'll be like, oh, man, I missed it. So don't miss it. Tune in next time. I don't have an idea of what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure it's going to be great. And with that, I say cheers.